Hello, I'm Tyler, and in this video, we are going to install osTicket. osTicket is an open source ticketing system. It streamlines customer service where tickets can be created through email, web forms, or phone calls to the customer service center. It's a web-based platform where agents are able to prioritize and track and work on tickets, contact the customers, and then bring the tickets to resolution where there'll be a history of closed tickets. So we're going to begin in Microsoft Azure by creating a virtual machine, and the virtual machine will be the host in which we will install osTicket. So we're going to come down here to create Azure Virtual Machine. And we'll go ahead and put it in the resource group for osTicket. Machine name will be osTicket. And the image going to be used is going to be Windows 11 Pro. We're going to make the admin account's name osTicket and add a password. And we'll go ahead and confirm rights to the Windows 11 license. We're going to review and create. So now the virtual machine is getting validated for creation. It's been validated, so we are going to create the virtual machine. And now the deployment is getting initialized and submitted, and the virtual machine deployment is in progress. So now the virtual machine's deployment has been complete. We'll return to the virtual machines and get the public IP address here. We are then going to remotely connect into. Now we'll put in the username and password. We're going to approve that they cannot identify the security certificate. And now the virtual machine is launching, and it is going to finish installing the operating system. So now that the virtual machine has been installed, we're going to begin our first steps with installing osTicket. So here in the search bar, I'm going to go ahead and search for Windows features. Turn Windows features on or off. And I'm going to come down here to Internet Information Services. I'm going to check that box. I'm going to expand it and expand the World Wide Web Services. Then I'm going to expand Application Development Features. Here, I'm going to check the box next to CGI and click OK. So it's going to check to make sure that the required files are available and then begin installing them. The configuration has now been completed for IIS with CGI, and this now allows the computer to essentially be a web server, and it's listening on port 80, which is HTTP. The next thing that we're going to do is install the IIS URL rewrite module. The links for everything that we're going to be installing are in the GitHub project that will be posted in the description, and the links will also be posted in the description. So the first thing that we're going to do is install the rewrite module. Now that the rewrite module has been installed, we're going to go to the C drive and create a new folder. And we're going to call this folder PHP. And this is where we're going to place all the PHP files. So I'm going to go back into the folder of installation files. And here with this PHP zip file, we're going to right click on it and go to extract all and place it in the PHP folder that we just created. And that was done successfully. All the contents are now in the PHP folder. The next thing we're going to do is install the Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable file. So we're going to open up that installer and begin installing. Next, we're going to install MySQL. We're going to choose a typical installation. And now we're going to launch the MySQL configuration wizard. We're going to choose a standard configuration. And here's where we're going to set a password. And now we're going to execute the installation. And MySQL server has now been configured. Next, we're going to install the PHP manager for IIS. And now that that's installed, we're going to register it. So we're going to go IIS and run as administrator. We're going to go to the PHP manager. And we're going to register a new PHP version, which will be located within the PHP folder that we had created. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to come here to osTicket. I'm going to stop the server and start the server. And that's just going to refresh everything and make sure that the PHP is up to date and it is now registered. Okay. Now we're going to install osTicket. So we're going to go ahead and extract the osTicket folder. Now that osTicket has been unzipped, we're going to take the upload folder and cut that. We're going to go to C, inetpub, www root, and paste the folder here. The folder is going to be renamed osTicket. And we'll come back to the IIS manager, and we're going to stop the server and start the server. It's going to refresh the changes we just made from adding the folder in there. So we're going to come down here to default sites, osTicket, and click browse. And now we have the osTicket installer. On the osTicket installer, we could see that there are some extensions that are disabled that we will be requiring. We need the Intel extension for improving localization. We also need the PHP IMAP extension, so that's required for email. So we're going to come here to the IIS manager, and inside the PHP manager of osTicket, open that up, and we're going to enable or disable an extension. So here we have the IMAP. We're going to right click and enable. And we have the Intel. We're going to enable that. And lastly, I'm going to come down here and enable the PHP OP cache. So now that those have been enabled, we're going to refresh osTicket. And we can see that the X's went to green check marks. We're going to return to the www root folder, and we're going to open up osTicket. Then we're going to open up include. Here we're going to find the OST sample config. And we're going to take out the word sample. This is a file that osTicket will be using to save configurations. Now that the file has been renamed, we're going to right click on it and go to properties. And properties will go to security. Then we're going to go to advanced. Here we're going to disable inheritance, and this is going to remove all permissions from this file. And we're going to go to add, select the principal. Principal will be everyone. So now everyone is going to be allowed full control of the files. Hit apply, and OK. Next, we're going to install osTicket on the web installer. So we're going to hit continue. And we're going to give our help desk a name with an email, an admin name, then we need a username. So we're just going to use admin user and a password. And now we're going to need a username and password for MySQL. In order to do that, we're going to have to install HeidiSQL. Now that HeidiSQL is finished installing, we're going to go ahead and launch it. And now we're going to click here at New. We're going to create a new user and password. This will be the same user and password that was used for the MySQL installation. Now we'll click Open. Here on Unnamed, I'm going to right-click, go to Create New Database. We'll call that osTicket. Now that that has been created, we can come over here to the MySQL username and put in the password, as well as the database. And click Install Now. And now osTicket has successfully been installed. As we can see, here is the support center to creating a ticket.